What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40K. Now, in my opinion, I feel like I've been seeing a lot more, I guess the word is discourse, rage, hate, when it comes to female Space Marines, and as much as I believe it can work, you see the title of the video. There's at least 5 more factions that deserve to be fleshed out fully before that even becomes more of a question. So when it comes to female Space Marines, it can work because when we see the narrative of 40K, oftentimes things aren't 100% correct. Fact is not 100% true because we've seen the Imperium get things wrong over and over again, and for the most part, when we read lore, it's in the perspective of the Imperium, and a lot of these scholars don't get things right. And a lot of times they skew fact to push their narrative on more Imperial minds to get them into compliance. It's a grimdark universe. Of course, people are going to be all about scheming and using politics and anything they can to keep their power. So of course, a lot of things we took for certain can be changed, and we've seen that through a bit of the Horus Heresy novels, especially with us thinking that the Emperor created the Astartes. That wasn't the case. We have Amar Astarte, and then we have with the Emperor creating the Primarchs. That wasn't 100% the case. Erda, the mother of Primarchs, the Perpetual, played a huge part in that. So honestly, the Emperor basically just created the Custodes 100% by himself. Obviously, he's not this end-all, be-all God, perfect being that we thought. He is flawed. I mean, Father's Day was just yesterday, and we saw that even though you are the strongest being in the galaxy, it doesn't make you the best dad. And we've seen time and time again that his favoritism towards Horus, him ignoring pleas of the Primarchs, treating Angron like shit, like the list goes on and on and on, that the Emperor is not omnipotent. He's not all-knowing. He's not, he's not this God that we, think of him to be. He is flawed. So, just like he is flawed, why wouldn't the Imperium be flawed? It is a dystopian, grimdark universe after all. But who's to say that Belisarius Cawl can't do a little tinkering, or Chaos gets his hands on there, and then we get Space Marines that are female. But before we get to that, before that even becomes a question, these 5 races, these 5 factions needs to be 100% fully fleshed out before we get to that. Because, for one, we need the Dark Mechanicus to become a faction. We've got the Adeptus Mechanicus, which has a lot of cool designs and whatnot, but the Dark Mechanicus has been around since the beginnings of the Heresy, when Horus basically allied with half of the Mechanicum. There are so many awesome models that are Forge World only, and don't even have models that literally got to be scratch built, converted to become playable on the tabletop. And we've seen so many wargamers create their own models, their own, awesome themes for Chaos AdMech armies that are just chef's kiss. So definitely GW needs to make this a thing, because honestly, it's so easy just to get AdMech stuff and put spiky bits, paint them a little dark, and boom, you have an awesome looking army. But I'm pretty sure GW can make awesome sculpts to go with that army. Now, besides that, we also need to flesh out the Sisters of Silence. So long have they been in the shadow of the Adeptus Custodes, and I think there is a ton of lore, a ton of named characters that we can add to that army to flesh it out completely to be its own playable force. We have the Sisters of Battle that have been fleshed out. Like, metal models are no longer a thing. We've got plastic sisters finally. So let's up the, female-led armies on the tabletop with the Sisters of Silence. They're going to be super powerful against any type of Psyker army, be it Grey Knights, Thousand Sons, Demons, because they're all blanks, they're all pariahs. We can easily use that to our advantage to create really powerful lists against these type of armies that like to spam smite, that like to do shenanigans, like F you, Aldar. We've got sisters over here that are just gonna, pummel you into oblivion. Not just that, but the models are pretty cool. Very few models, but they're pretty cool, and I think GW can also do them justice. So right then and there, the Dark Mechanicum, the Sisters of Silence really do need to be fleshed out before we get anywhere. But I think this next one really needs more models. They're pretty good, they've won tournaments, but the Harlequins have too few models. They're in the same position as the Sisters of Silence, where they're kind of pushed into the Eldar book, but they can be their own thing. They have their own freaking god that hasn't been devoured by Slaanesh. We have Segura. These guys are fast, they're powerful, they're able to take objectives. Like, they can do it all right now, but I just think we need a little bit more models to make them more, more awesome, more options available to how you want to play the Harlequins. So that's 3 right there. Another one that I know will be fleshed out and is coming out pretty soon is the Leagues of Voltan. The squats are back, baby, and they're coming in force. Obviously, we do know that they are coming out for 9th edition. We've seen a little bit of their stats, we've seen a little bit of their lore, and we've seen a little bit of their models. Not too many, but just enough to tease us. And I think they are going to be a very fun race, especially because the lore has been so amazing in my opinion. I do have a playlist that you guys can check out that lists the lore for the Voltan, or I guess the kin for that matter, because the Voltan are their AISTC god orbs. And that's just pretty cool. Like, I can go on and on just talking about the kin, and they even ally with Men of Iron, Ironkin, so that I'm super excited about. But I think the one faction that GW has been ignoring, and they definitely need to flesh out, is that of Slaanesh. The Emperor's Children, or anything Slaanesh themed for that matter, has been ignored for years, honestly. When it comes to the Horus Heresy, you do have Forge World models to use the Emperor's Children. You do have a few models here and there for Chaos and 40k that you can use as purely Emperor's Children, like Lucius the Eternal. But since I believe it was 7th edition when we had supplements for Khorne, supplements for Zeech, supplements for Nurgle, hell, even Thousand Sons, World Eaters, Death Guard, they get their own codex. Why don't the Emperor's Children? Where's the love for Slaanesh? Time and time again, you see Age of Sigmar putting out awesome models for Slaanesh, the Keeper of Secrets. Like, it's just so amazing. Why isn't GW doing that for Warhammer 40k? I mean, I guess technically, yes, you can use the Keeper of Secrets from Age of Sigmar as a Keeper of Secrets in 40k, but they're selling it and they're marketing as purely an Age of Sigmar model. Where's the supplements for Slaanesh and the Emperor's Children? Why aren't we getting anything for that faction that has been a part of lore since the inception? Like, it's the newest Chaos God. Like, Slaanesh isn't just all about like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You can use it as perfection, a means to become a better warrior, a better strategist, a better psyker. There are so many avenues you can explore with Slaanesh, and GW's just been saying, nope, not gonna touch it. I'm gonna keep it as far away from Warhammer 40k as possible. You guys over on Age of Sigmar, take all the ideas, take all the money. We're not doing anything with it, and I think that is a huge miss for GW. Well, for any of these past 5 factions that I talked about, Leagues of Voltan are coming out, so we finally got onto the whole squat love. That's cool. The Sisters of Silence definitely need more models to become their own standalone codex. The Dark Mechanicum, it's just there. It's just Spiky Bit, Admech. Honestly, the Harlequins, just more god avatars. Like, you have the avatar of Cain. Why not have the avatar of Segura? Like, the ideas are just there. Maybe this is just GW's way of having, eggs in their basket for future years. But come on, Slaanesh should be, it's one of the, 4 Chaos Gods. They should be front and center with the rest of the Chaos Gods. I don't know. But that's all I got for today, guys. Let me know which one of these top 5 factions do you want to see GW, work on this year. Obviously, we know that the leagues are coming out, so that's kind of a given, but what about the other 4? Which ones do you want to see? In my opinion, I think it's definitely the Sisters of Silence, followed by Slaanesh, followed by the Dark Mechanicus, then the Squats, and then the Harlequins. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Don't forget, there is a super thanks option if you want to support us directly. That's probably the best way of doing it. If not, Patreon is another way. Or if you don't want to go out and spend money on the channel, liking this video, sharing it with your friends, hitting that subscribe button, and commenting does help the channel a lot, so greatly appreciated. And of course, it's been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.